live. You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good and Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody.
Made up to this point that would determine the rest of your life. So break the cycle that doing enough is simply good enough. You only get out what you put in, so don't settle for the crumbs when you can have a whole loaf. So push yourself beyond your limitations. Come on. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Don't reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. So you gotta break the routine of trying to be.
All right, good morning, family. Oh, let me let y'all see me at least.
For the quick progress. There are no shortcuts to success. There are no
There we go.
elevators to the top.
What's happening?
You gotta take it one step at a time. You gotta break the routine of allowing others to get into your head and control who you are and what you see,
it's been an interesting morning. I'll tell you about it in a minute.
But don't let your haters push you down. Let your haters push you forward to the next level. So when people
Kinda
show
crazy.
you who they really are, don't perceive them to be something else that they're not. See, a zebra does not change his stripes. So you gotta keep pushing yourself to the next level. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Get a little deeper. Come on. Yeah. Go a little further. Go a little further. Come on. Come on.
In the meantime, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from.
Come on. Come on. Come on. You got to understand that greatness is the nature that you were born out of. You'll never discover your greatness without hard work and dedication. Greatness says more about who you are than what you expect for yourself. And greatness will always attract greatness. Show me your friends and I'll show you the future. The future. You're just a step away. You're just a step away. You're just a step away. Don't ever give up. Come on. You're just a step away. You're almost there. Come on. You got to push yourself beyond your limitations. You see, there's no mountain too high.
Come on, rep your city, rep your town. I don't see y'all repping.
You can go where you want to go. It's all in the power of your
Let's get it in there.
You can see the invisible. You can do the impossible. So stretch yourself. Take yourself to the next level. Come on. Come on. Come on. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper.
Go a little further.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Reach a little higher.
Dig a little deeper.
Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Yeah. Come on.
There's a blessing. I don't have my headphones. None of that stuff, man. I'm telling you, I'm at a handicap. 90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to another edition of The Spoken Word. I am your host, Bishop Talbert Swan II, and as usual, we'll be telling it like it is through cultural idioms and nuances that shape the order, ethos, and chaos of the African-American experience. Words have their own vitality. They shape their own consciousness and create their own context for interpreting social and spiritual reality. The spoken word contains the power to reshape the landscape of society. 4 minutes past the hour of 9 a.m. And I want to thank Mr. Kenneth Barnett for bringing us up until the 9 o'clock hour with The Promise. You can hear The Promise every Monday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., bringing you the best in gospel music. Good way to start out your Monday morning. Great way to start out your week. And I had not anticipated starting out my week actually live in the studio. I was on my way to St. Louis, Missouri, to the annual summer conference, what we call the Auxiliaries in Ministry, or the AIM convention of the Church of God in Christ. And left. My wife was bringing me to the airport at 6 o'clock this morning. And when I got there, American Airlines told me my flight was canceled. And the only flight available was a standby. And otherwise, I'd have to be booked to get out tomorrow morning. So I had to purchase a flight on a different airline to leave later on this evening because I got stuff to do there. Tomorrow I have a session with Congresswoman Cori Bush and a number of others in a forum of what's at stake in this year's election. And so I'm one of the guests at that event. And so I need to be in St. Louis today. And then we've got several other things going on while we're there. I'll tell you a little bit about a couple of them. And then we'll get into our conversation for today. So if you're on your way to AIM, or if you're in St. Louis and listening to me, check us out on Wednesday and Thursday. Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. On Tuesday, what's at stake in this election? As I stated, we'll be with Congresswoman Cori Bush, and that will take place from 12 to 2 on Tuesday at the Chevre Events on Delmar Boulevard, right down the street from the America Center. And I'll be joined by Dr. Breonna Parker and Reverend Tracy Blackman, Dr. Freddie Haynes, Pastor Mike McBride, and Tamika Mallory. And then on Wednesday at the America Center in room 264, from 3 to 6, we will be having the Social Justice Ministry of the Church of God in Christ, of which I serve as the director. We'll be having a social justice master class. And you don't want to miss this one. This is going to be off the charts. This is going to be information that you definitely want to get. I'm going to have Dr. Freddie Haynes talking about preaching justice. We'll also have a D1 hip hop artist. He's going to be talking about hip hop and social justice. Tamika Mallory will be talking about transformative activism. Reverend Dr. Breonna Parker will be talking about data and its social impact. And Pastor Mike McBride will be talking about organizing and social justice ministry. So you don't want to miss that social justice master class that's going to happen on Wednesday at the America Center. And then on Thursday from 5 to 7, I've got 2 panels that are happening that will be moderated by Dr. LaWanna Grant. The first one is Election 2024, What's at Stake? And that will feature Attorney Sheila Stewart, the Bishop Patrick Wooden, and the Bishop J. Lewis Felton. The second panel will be entitled Our Faith, Our Vote, and that will feature myself and our presiding bishop, Bishop J. Drew Sheard. So you don't want to miss Thursday, you don't want to miss Wednesday, you don't want to miss Tuesday. A lot of stuff happening along with everything else that's going on during the course of the AIM convention. So if you're headed to AIM, put a pin in those things right there that are happening. So pray for me that I get that this flight doesn't get canceled. I was on American. I'm on Southwest now. I prefer to be on American, but I got to get there, so I had to do what I had to do. Listen, reparations over celebration. That's what we're talking about today. Tell a friend, tell somebody. The bishop is on the air right now. If you're listening over social media, we only got Facebook and YouTube popping today. I didn't even bring my radio bag that has all of my normal equipment that I use for my radio show because I hadn't planned on being on the air today. So apologies out to my Twitter Space listeners and my Instagram listeners. We don't have them hooked in today, but if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. 413-736-2781 is the number. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
in the mirror and I like what I see. A strong, beautiful black woman staring back at me. One who's seen a lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow. I've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from, and hit, but it just made me stronger, and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to their level. Don't go down. I rose above that nonsense
And made a liar of the devil.
All right now. The devil who said I wasn't good enough, cute enough,
or worthy of love.
I kicked his butt with divine power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me and brought me out of darkness so that I could see that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King. Abundant love for me he came to bring. Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
90.7 WTCC. That strong, beautiful black woman, that is her. That's not me. That's Rhonda Swan. You can check out all of her spoken word pieces wherever they stream music. You can find her right there. So definitely check it out. Check it out. Once again, I need you to rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you are chiming in from, what part of the world, um, with the World Wide Web. It's not just the United States. It's what part of the world um, are you representing? Um, and let me see who we got in here thus far. Um, like I said, I'm missing my regular Twitter and Instagram audience. So we're working with the YouTubers and the Facebookers today. St. Petersburg, Florida. Good morning to you. Houston, 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 always in the building. Um, um, what does that say? Helotus in Texas. Okay, I'm not sure what that is, but the 413 is definitely in the building. Good morning, Aunt Marion. I see you in the building. 413, yes, 413 Greenville, South Carolina. Madison, Wisconsin is up in the building. Chicago is in the building. New York City is in the building. Kansas City is in the building. The ATL is in the house. London is in the house. Hey, baby girl. See my daughter Charlotte is in the house. Raleigh, North Carolina is in the house. Maryland is in the house. Quebec is in the house. Jules Howard, how you feel? Another Charlotte up in here. San Antonio, Texas is in the building. Phoenix, Arizona is in the building. Thank you for the prayers. I need them prayers. Yes, pray that that plane takes off this evening when it's supposed to take off and gets there when it's supposed to get there. Okay, I'm already. I was supposed to be in St. Louis by noon. I won't get there till 9 p.m. now. But I got to be there because I got some stuff happening in the morning with Congresswoman Bush and others. So, yeah, send up a prayer. I need in the comment section. Put some praying hands in there. Come on, y'all, help me out. Y'all still believe in prayer? Put some praying hands in the comment section. Um, if you want to help me touch and agree, where two or three are gathered, the Lord said he'll be in the midst. Put them praying hands in there. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Get them praying hands in there. So we're touching and we're agreeing. And we're going to get that bird in the air. Mm-hmm. And all will be well. Let me get back. I got off track because I was calling out y'all cities and town. Frederick, Maryland is in here. The DMV is up in the building. You can keep repping your city, repping your town, and keep throwing them praying hands up in there, praying for a brother, so that we can get where we're going. Okay. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number here. If you want to chime in on the conversation. I know that there were some, if I got some of my NAAC peers out there, text me. There was some information about our education committee and some other things that are happening. Text me so I can get the information correct and announce it before I get off the air. Once again, 413-736-2781 is the number here. So Amika Black is a sister out of Dallas, and she designs and sells t-shirts. Hey, Amia Hampton, thank you for the prayers. Movement messages. I wear a lot of her stuff, and you see it all the time. And what really inspired the title of this particular show is I received a package from her the other day, and if you're listening to Mika, thank you so much. I appreciate you, sis. And in this latest package, I'm trying to find it. There was a message on one of the shirts that she sent that was just, all of them were fire, but this one in particular, I appreciate it so much because of what it said. It's just real, because in the midst of all of the commemorations and the various celebrations that we have had, we've got to be mindful that those that are in power have no problem with us having celebrations. They've got no problem with us having commemorations. Okay. What they have a problem with is giving us substance. Okay. And that makes a difference. So the shirt that she sent said, the message on it said, reparations and legislation over celebrations and commemorations. Somebody put that in the comment section so everybody gets that. Okay. Put that in the comment section. Reparations and legislation over celebrations and commemorations. Let me say that one more again. I see you, Pastor K. Pullings. Reparations and legislation over celebrations and commemorations. Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. Okay. Reparations. Y'all putting that in the comments? Come on, let's get that in the comments. Reparations and legislation over celebrations and commemorations. And then go to authorities with 2 E's, AUTHORITEES. Go to authorities either on Instagram or on X, formerly known as Twitter, and look up my sister, Amika Black, and go on and order your t-shirt. You need to have that one right there. If you don't have no other one, you need to have that one right there. Reparations and legislation. Thank you. Over celebrations and commemoration. See, the thing about America has money to fund everything, but doesn't have money to provide reparations to the descendants of enslaved Africans. They have literally billions upon billions of dollars to fund war in Eastern Europe. Okay, um, fund war in Eastern Europe um, um, with between between Russia and Ukraine. They got plenty of money for that. They have billions of dollars to fund genocide of the Palestinians by Israel. Billions, billions with a B. They got billions of dollars for so many other things. But whenever it comes to paying the debt that is owed to black people, there's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. One of the top excuses is when they say, well, and black folk, y'all are guilty of this too. When they start talking about what black folks would do with the money if they got it. You notice how they never had a problem. They never questioned when they gave corporate bailouts to Fortune 100 companies, and those companies took part of that money to give bonuses to CEOs who were already making multi-millions of dollars. Nobody ever said anything about what those corporations were going to do with what is in essence reparations, bailout money. But everybody got something to say about what black folk would do. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. And then I try to use a very simple example. If you owe me $1,000, okay, if I perform a service for you, if my labor cost you $1,000, if my services cost you $1,000, if I let you borrow $1,000, however you came to owe me the $1,000, you don't get to say, well, I would give you the $1,000, but you ain't gonna do the right thing with it. You don't get to say, if I give Talbert that $1,000, he ain't gonna do nothing but go buy some sneakers with it, or he's gonna go buy some clothes, or he's gonna go out to eat, or he's gonna go to the concert. It really ain't none of your business what I do with the money that you owe me. And that's how silly folks sound when they start talking about what black people would do if they got reparations. It don't matter what they would do. I mean, it does. I mean, in the sense of, we want people to do the right thing with the money. We want to build generational wealth. We want to build black communities, all of that stuff, of course, absolutely. But at the end of the day, the entity that owes the money doesn't get to say, well, we don't want to get the money because what you might do with it. That is none of your business what I'm going to do with my money. Okay? And here's the other thing. And this is for the people, and I know some very good people who make the case that reparations could take on various forms. That reparations could take on the form of free education, free health care, black people not paying taxes, a number of things. Um, I personally happen to disagree with that. I don't disagree with the concept of doing that because of the pain and suffering and the disenfranchisement and the oppression that Black people have dealt with in America. That can be done in addition to cash payments. Bottom line, listen, you don't get to, if once again, I'm gonna go back to that $1,000 example. If you owe me $1,000, you don't get to say, hey, you know what? Since I owe you $1,000, I'm gonna come over and mow your grass for the rest of the summer. You don't get to say, yeah, I owe you $1,000, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the price off of this service that I provide for you. No, you don't get to come up with creative ways to give me back my $1,000. If you pay me my money, now you can pay me that other stuff in interest on top of my $1,000. Come cut my grass for the summer for making me wait so long to get my $1,000. I see you, Pennsauken, New Jersey. But cash payments ought to be the main form of reparations. Now, go on and put in the comment section whether you agree with cash payments or some other form of reparations. And if it's some other form, tell me what that form might be, what it might look like for you. Tupac said it best back in the mid-90s. I mean, he had a poetic and a prophetic gift that was empowering. He was actually born to parents that were engaged in the Black Panther Party and raised with a lens toward justice. And now Tupac's lyrics are studied in universities and colleges around the country. It was in 1993. 30, is that 30 years now? Yeah, 31 years ago. He released that song, Keep Your Head Up. I see cash payments only. Yeah. Go on, put somebody said mortgage payments. Go on, put in what you think, how you think reparations should look. He released that song, Keep Your Head Up. And it was a brilliant ode to women. And one of the lyrics that is continually illuminated over 30 years later, as we witness America send billions of dollars to Israel and Ukraine, Tupac said they got money for wars, but can't feed the poor. My goodness, how that is still true to this day. And we've got to engage the validity of those words. Because when it's time for war, this government can always find financial resources. And we're not even talking about its own war. We're talking about they're funding somebody else's war. They're funding somebody else's war. They can always find resources. But when you discuss universal health care, or when you discuss eliminating student loan debt, the response is always, how are we going to pay for that? And there's something wrong with a society that can find the resources to take a life, but they can't find the resources to sustain life. You have people dying in America because they don't have access to health care. They don't have access to healthy food. They don't have access to housing. And a large percentage of Americans can't move up socially because of the crippling weight of government subsidized student loans. You should never come out of college owing six figures back to the government before you ever even get a job. You know, um, as a nation, America needs to find the finances to free people who are suffering mentally, physically, and financially, especially since the money is theirs anyway. That's taxpayer money. That money doesn't belong to the 100 men and women in the Senate, to the 435 men and women in the House of Representatives. It doesn't belong to the 535 people who make up the U.S. Congress. It doesn't belong to the president and the vice president and their cabinet. It belongs to the people who pay taxes to this government. And America's failure to invest in and to prioritize the safety and the health of over 325 million people living in this nation is a threat to the safety and well-being of the nation. More than 17% of children live in poverty. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for Americans between 10 and 24. Think about that. 10 and 24. That's a dangerous statistic. The lifespan is falling. Thousands of people are dead not because of a terrorist attack, but because of a pharmaceutical industry induced opioid epidemic, because of malnutrition, because of infant mortality, because of so many other reasons. And the government has turned into a can't do government, finding reasons why it can't do this and it can't do that. But at the same time, somehow, there's always money for the priorities of the wealthy, the powerful, whether they're individuals, whether it's corporate interest, whether it's the military industrial complex. They always find money for those reasons. We've been told that our health and well-being are really a secondary concern. And all of this while America is lagging behind the rest of the international world in education, spending in public education continues to fall. And we lag behind the international community in education. We lag behind them in healthcare. We lag behind them in so many areas, yet we beat our chest about being the citadel of democracy, being the citadel of freedom and justice. And, we beat our chest about being and say that we are the most technologically advanced nation on earth. How is a country that hasn't had enough money to pay its own bills for about 50 years? Because America, their debt continues to go up. How do you think about this for a minute? America hasn't had enough money to pay its own debts for 50 years. How does it have so many billions of dollars to give to Israel and Ukraine? Think about that. Let's bring it down to simple forms again. Because y'all got people in your family. Y'all can put their names in the comment section if you want. You know who they are. You got people in your family who can't pay their bills at home, always begging you to give them some help so they can pay the rent, keep the lights on, pay the cell phone bill. But they always got the latest designer clothes. They always at the concert and the show. They always seem to find money to do the things that should be secondary and not primary, and beg for money for things that ought to be primary. Now, you got a sister, you got a cousin, you got somebody in your family just like that. That's America. America is that relative. America is that relative that don't pay its mortgage, but got the latest product. That's America. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. I agree with a lot of what you said. And that's why I think, when you think about it, in the way what you're talking about America first. You're talking about taking care of the people of America first. And it makes complete sense. I agree with that 100%. How can we let millions of people over the border who we have to take care of because they can't take care of themselves? You talk about airports, you go to Terminal E in Logan, and you see hundreds of people all over the floor, and it's an inflow that doesn't stop. How are we going to take care of all those people and give black people reparations, which would be great? I agree with that 100%.
Well, let's not juxtapose the two of those together. Let's not say it has to be one or the other, because America has been able to deal with the immigration issue and still give Israel and Ukraine and everybody else money. So if we can do that simultaneously, it can pay reparations to black people.
I know you bring up a lot of points. I mean, there's a lot of issues that you're talking about. And you just can't solve them all at once and just say, well, at some point, there's just not enough money, right? And I'm not saying, I'm agreeing with you that there should be reparations. And I'm also agreeing with you that, we can't be funding, I don't give a ham sandwich about Ukraine, to be honest with you. Let them fight their own war. You know what I mean? And stop giving them billions of dollars. This is why I think you're going to see Trump win, because people have had it. They've had it. And I would love to see Trump go into, he spoke in the Bronx, about a month ago. I would love to see him go into African-American areas and talk about what you're talking about, closing the border, deporting people, stop taking care of those people, and start talking about how we can have a plan to give reparations to black people, and I think that's a message that a lot of people want to hear.
Well, Trump did go into an area and start talking about black people, and he was repeating what he said in the last election cycle. Basically, what do y'all got to lose? Y'all commit the most crime. You live in the worst neighborhoods. Everything's bad. So go on and vote for me. I don't necessarily agree that that's the message that he should be giving to black people. That we're terrible and everything is terrible, and the Democrats haven't helped our terrible situation, so vote for him. That's not it.
He's got a ways to go on the rhetoric, but I mean, part of the point he's trying to make is, y'all go for Democrats 90% of the time, and like you've made points several times on your show, they're not following through. I mean, this country's a mess right now. I mean, when you talk about inflation, you talk about the wars, you talk about illegals pouring over the border. There's a lot going on here.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I got to take some more calls. Thanks for your call.
All right.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How the government pays for the American lifestyle or lack of lifestyle, financial wise, it borrows money. It borrows money from pension funds. It borrows money from poor countries like Nicaragua, Venezuela, Nigeria, etc. It borrows money from their pension funds and their sovereign wealth funds, and also the tax cuts. We're living in this hyperinflation because of the tax cuts from both administrations, the Democrats and the Republicans. That it boosts up inflation, and that's where the money comes from. It's borrowed money. It's like a gigantic credit. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for your call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, you're on the air. All right, caller, going once. Turn your radio down. You're on the air. Let's go to the next caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
All right, caller. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm blessed, man. It's good to hear you. You know, I was talking about the call you were talking about before. There's nobody out here talking about reparations, for one thing. And he's talking about putting Trump back in the office. If you listen to Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again," I just want to know when it's been great for black people. That's the biggest thing, is that Trump is for Trump. So you might well forget that. Okay, and America is going to always be broke. They're going to always act like they're making money. They ain't making no money. They're taking money from us, putting it in their pocket. If you're Republican or Democrat up in the high seat, you believe me, you're making money. But ain't nobody else. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. It's about time that the Americans stop making excuses and give black folks their reparations, because that's the reason we are able to help Ukraine and Israel now, because of the sweat of the black man back from the beginning. They have parlayed all of that money, all of those many years, 300 freaking years. Give the black man they just do. We made you guys, man. Come on, guys.
All right. Appreciate you, bro. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number if you want to get in on this conversation. We are talking, somebody put it back in the comment section so people know. We're talking about reparations and legislation over commemorations, and celebrations. That's what we're talking about: reparations and legislation. Reparations and legislation over celebrations and commemorations. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, Bishop. The reason that America takes care of Israel is because Israel, the state of Israel, is mercenary for America. That's what it is. I mean, because they know it comes over there and they are mercenary for America. That's the reason America takes them.
Well, here's my issue with Israel. First of all, Israel is an apartheid state. People hate when I say that, but it's true. America gives Israel $4 billion a year, no matter what. They promised 38 billion more to Israel. They've given them billions of dollars to commit genocide against Palestinians. And Israel disregards everything the American people say because the politicians are in their pocket through AIPAC and other lobbyist groups. Here's the fact, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know who has received the most money from AIPAC, the main lobby group who lobbies on behalf of Israel? Joe Biden. Joe Biden. And there are a lot of black politicians who are in the pocket of AIPAC. The highest ranking Democrat in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, is in the pocket of AIPAC. I mean, that's the reality. Joe Biden has argued that American aid for crises overseas, primarily Ukraine and Israel, are vital to protecting U.S. national security. And so he keeps making excuses and reasons why it needs to give them more and more money. The last spending bill he signed into law was $105 billion, $61.4 billion for Ukraine, $26 billion to Israel. They did a study that said it would take $25 billion to end hunger in America. $25 billion to end hunger. They sent $26 billion to Israel to murder Palestinians. Think about that. Good morning, caller. Think about that for a minute. They sent to Israel enough money to end hunger in America so that they could murder Palestinians. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. I'll be 74 years old this coming August.
And that's why I let you call 3 times.
Yes. Nobody has been in office that was doing Joe Biden.
Wait. Hold up. He hasn't been in office since you was born. No, I get it. He was in Congress. He was in Senate. He's been in public life for almost 50 years, but you said you're 74. You said he's been in office since you've been born. That's not quite that long.
Since I was born. That's what I mean. That's what I meant.
I know. You mean he been there a long time.
Yes. And ever since I can remember, and I've heard about ever since I can remember, Joe Biden have been voting against the black man. Ever since I have been alive.
Now you telling the truth right there.
I know this. Yes.
Appreciate your call. The brother's not lying now. Y'all, now I know we don't want Trump in office, but that brother is not. Listen, Biden was against desegregating schools. Matter of fact, he partnered with segregationists at the time to come against desegregating America's schools. Biden was against MLK holiday. Biden was against many things that were civil rights issues that were to the benefit of black people. He was the architect of the crime bill that started the process of mass incarceration 10 years after the crime bill was signed into law. Incarceration of black people more than doubled. So he's got some blood on his hands when it comes to black bodies and things that have been done in this nation to the detriment of black people. There's no doubt about that. The brother is telling the truth when it comes to that. 413-736-2781, 413-736-2781. the money that they sent over to Israel, that billion dollars, entirely toward defense contractors and facilitating the transfer of weapons and ammunition from the U.S. stockpiles, um, ammunition for their missile defense system, the Iron Dome, David Sling, um, precision guided missiles and kits that turn regular bombs into precision weapons and artillery shells. All of that, what they gave Israel money for. But we can't give reparations to black people. Here's the other thing. I wrote about this and I talked about this. Matter of fact, I went on WVON in Chicago to talk about this. The governor of New York State was boasting about the fact that they have an office embedded in New York's government. I want you to hear this. There is an office. I need to find the name of it. Just because y'all, I want y'all to really understand. In that office, their sole job is to get reparations and resources for Holocaust survivors and their descendants. That is the sole purpose of that office. And here's the thing. She was talking about, there it is. It comes up under the office of the New York State Comptroller. And they support efforts to reunite Holocaust survivors and their heirs, to get funds to Holocaust survivors and their heirs, and going all out to find funds that are in Swiss banks from insurance companies in Europe, all of that. It's called the Holocaust Claims Processing Office. It's part of New York State government. Taxpayer dollars, okay? New York taxpayers fund an office, Holocaust Claims Processing Office, part of the New York State Department of Financial Services, for them to get reparations to Holocaust survivors and their heirs. Now, remember now, the Holocaust did not happen in America. Okay? Didn't happen in America. Happened in Europe. All right, the culprits were the Germans, Hitler, Nazis, Third Reich, all of that. Not America, but embedded in New York's government, and they have similar offices in other states, paid for by the taxpayers. Okay, the employees of the office and all that, taxpayer. But slavery happened in America. The enslavement of Africans and their descendants happened in America. I use the example of New York because a lot of people think the North is exempt when it comes to American chattel slavery. It's not. Many of the northern states had slavery. Massachusetts, where I'm at right now, was the first state to legalize slavery. It was also the first state to make it illegal and to ban it, but it was the first state to legalize slavery. People were held as slaves for over 100 years in Massachusetts. People were held as slaves in New York State for 220 years. New York State had nothing to do with the Holocaust in Europe, yet it has an office, a Holocaust claims office, but New York State does not have a reparations claims office for the descendants of Black people who were held as slaves in New York for 220 years. Think about that. Think about that. How America can prioritize finding money for Holocaust survivors and their heirs, but it can't find no money for the descendants of enslaved Africans who were enslaved right here in this country. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Bishop. You know, we were talking about that reparations. Japan was paid in 1988. The Japanese Americans were paid $20,000 reparations for each one established in the United States.
Yes, sir.
They gave them $20,000 in 1988.
Yes, sir. During the Reagan administration.
Yep, 1988 they gave them either $20,000 up to $44,000.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that bit of history, and that was because of Japanese who were put in internment camps during World War II after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. So if the Japanese deserved reparations for being held for 3 years in the 1940s, you mean we don't deserve reparations for 246 years of chattel slavery and 155 years of Jim Crow segregation, brutalization, lynching, and dehumanization? So for 400 years of oppression, we deserve nothing, but they got reparations for 3 years of internment? Anyway, I got to get out the way. Put some more praying hands in the comment section. Pray that my flight leaves on time this time and I can get to where I'm going. I got to get out your way. If you're looking for a place to worship, check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ. We're located at 35 Alden Street, the Brick Church, right there at 6 Corners. There'll be prayer, praise, and preaching. We're building better tomorrows by changing lives today. Coming up at 10 o'clock, Mrs. Cynthia Butler is coming up with mid-morning jazz, great Black music, and more. So you keep it locked right here on WTCC. And I'll see you later. Tune in on Friday to the Black Love Experience. And until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you, and so do I. Peace and blessings. See y'all later. May sound crazy.
This one is for all the brothers that passed, but more particularly one because it affected me drastically. I remember my sister gave me the call and I was in awe. Matter of fact, it felt the farthest from reality. She seen somebody post RIP with his name, and I said I doubt it's the same friend I had since the 7th grade. She said I'ma call his sister and double check and call me back.